Justice includes social justice, economic justice and political justice. So there should be justice in society on the basis of economic or wealth or in the distribution of money, and also justice includes political justice. Now liberty includes freedom of thought, freedom of speech and freedom of faith and worship. So you have the freedom of thought, you can think, and you have the freedom to speak out, and you also have the freedom to have the faith and worship that you prefer. Now, equality emphasizes a constitution where there will be no discrimination, and the government will endeavor to enrich the living standards of every citizen of the country, maintaining equality and unity amongst all. So equality, the main object of equality to enhance or to improve the living standards of every citizen of the country. Even though the people are very poor, the main emphasis or the main idea or the main goal of the constitution is to improve the living standard of all its citizens, maintaining equality and unity among all. Fraternity implies that India is a country of diversity, so there are many differences in the country, and it is impossible to adapt a democracy in a country where there are so many differences. But fraternity states that there should be togetherness among the people even in many differences. It is difficult but not impossible. As mentioned in the preamble, fraternity or the spirit of brotherhood or the spirit of togetherness is not limited only to India as a nation, but also includes universal brotherhood. So there should be brotherhood, spirit of brotherhood among different countries in the world. Then only a country can perform at its best. It is also said the Indian Constitution promises political and social democracy. This was explained by Dr. Ambedkar in the concluding speech in the Constituent Assembly. Liberty cannot be divorced from equality. Equality cannot be divorced from liberty. Nor can liberty and equality be divorced from fraternity or the spirit of brotherhood. These are the words of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. And the features of the Indian Constitution. Written Constitution. So Indian Constitution is a written constitution, but British Constitution is an unwritten one. In India, a citizen can have only one citizenship. In some countries, they allow dual citizenship, but India allows only one citizenship. And the blend of rigidity and flexibility. The Indian Constitution is rigid as well as flexible. So two opposite ideas. Rigid means not flexible, not changeable. But Indian Constitution is rigid as well as flexible. So let us learn in detail what it says. Some parts can be easily amended by the parliament by a simple majority. So this category is known as flexible. So some parts can be easily amended by the parliament by a simple majority. But for amendment of most of the other clauses, a special majority is required in the parliament. So this explains the rigid Indian Constitution. Now, the Constitution of India provides for a federal form of government. It means it has three essential features. So in India, power is divided between the central government and state governments. Laws made by state governments are applied only within the state, and the laws made by the central government are applied all over the country. Now, the original version of the Indian Constitution, Bharata Samvidhan, is kept at the Parliament House Library. The Constitution of India is the lengthiest and the most detailed constitution in the world. Now, Indian Constitution provides for a parliamentary form of government. The government is run by the Prime Minister and the Council of Ministers. The President is the nominal head of the state. There were certain provisions, for example, education for all, which were practically not possible for the government to provide 1950 till 1950. Still, the Constituent Assembly felt that successive governments in India should meet such measures. So the government that come after the election should take more care in providing education for all citizens in India. Such directions to formulate government policies have been incorporated in this part of the Constitution of India. Through such measures, the Constitution has tried to establish a welfare state for the people of India. So, simple majority means one vote more than half, and special majority means 2/3 majority of those present and voting, and simple majority of the total membership of the House. One of the essential features of the Indian Constitution is the fundamental rights. So without these rights, democracy cannot be established in any country. During the British rule, we were denied these rights. The struggle for freedom was also a struggle to secure the basic rights of the people. The Constitution mentions 7 fundamental rights. They are right to equality, right to freedom, right against exploitation. So no one can take advantage over any other individual based on any matter. Right to freedom of religion, cultural and educational rights. So people have the freedom to promote their culture, and they have also freedom to educate those culture to their next generation. Right to constitutional remedies, right to education. Now, by the fundamental duties, it is also believed that whenever there are rights to be enjoyed, there are certain responsibilities attached to it. These are called the fundamental duties. So, among with the fundamental rights, we also have some duties to perform. So, this should be obeyed or followed by every citizen. Now, amendment to the Constitution. The Constitution has been amended or changed 101 times till September 2016. The last one is referred to as the 101st Amendment to the Constitution. The Constitution of India is a very important compilation of procedures and rules governing the issues which concern the common people of the country. So, fundamental rights means essential or necessary rights. Now, through the 86th Amendment Act of Constitution, the right to education became a fundamental right for children between 6 to 14 years of age. Now, let us move on to the exercises. First, fill in the blanks. The body that framed our Constitution was called the Constituent Assembly. Frank Anthony represented the Anglo-Indians in the Constituent Assembly. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was chairman of the drafting committee. The first president of India was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. The 2 women members of the Constituent Assembly were Sarojini Naidu and Vijayalakshmi Pandit. The word socialist was added to the preamble in 1976. In a secular state, there is no discrimination against any religion. Till September 2016, the Constitution has been amended 101 times. Next, match the following. Formation of the Indian National Congress was in 1885, so option D. End of the Second World War was in 1945, option E. First session of the Constituent Assembly was in 1946, option C. Our Constitution was approved in 1949. Our Constitution came into force in 1950. So these are the answers. Now, whether identifying true or false. The Constituent Assembly was elected directly by the people. False. There were members from the scheduled caste in the Constituent Assembly. True. C. Rajagopalachari took over from Lord Mountbatten as Governor General of India. True. The Cabinet Mission gave the proposal of the Constituent Assembly. True. The Constitution was formed under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. True. There is a provision for double citizenship in the Indian Constitution. It's a false statement. The Indian Constitution ends with a preamble. False. The right to education is a fundamental right. Very true. Now moving on, name the following. The body that framed our Constitution, Constituent Assembly. These we already discussed here in the fill in the blanks. The person who represented the Anglo-Indian in the Constituent Assembly, Frank Anthony. That was also discussed about. The chairman of the Constituent Assembly was Dr. Rajendra Prasad. The chairman of the drafting committee was Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. This was also discussed before. The first president of India, Dr. Rajendra Prasad. Two women members of the Constituent Assembly, Sarojini Naidu and Vijayalakshmi Pandit. Now moving on to the photo study questions. So a photo is given and some questions based on this photo. So identify the event in the picture and who takes a salute in this parade. According to you, what is the purpose of holding this parade every year? So the identify the event in the picture. So this is Republic Day parade. Who takes a salute in this parade? The president takes a salute in this parade. Now, according to you, what is the purpose of holding this parade every year? So this parade is held every year with the purpose to mark the day India became a republic and to show the integrity or the togetherness and unity of the nation. So this was the purpose of this is the purpose of holding such a parade every year on the Republic Day. Now moving on to the answer the following questions. What is the importance of a constitution? So the answer I have written as points. So a constitution is a document where details about how to govern the country have been clearly stated, contains rules and regulations and defines the powers and functions of the governments. That is the first point. Second point, a constitution provides procedures and rules so that all the people of the country can live together peacefully. And the last point, like most countries of the world, India too has a constitution which is binding on all Indians. Now the next question, second one, how many years did the Constituent Assembly take to frame our constitution? Why? So the answer, the first session of the Constituent Assembly was held in 1946 and the constitution was finally approved by the members of the Constituent Assembly and signed on November 26, 1949, and the new constitution came into force on January 26, 1950. The second point, it is the lengthiest constitution in the world. And the last point, the draft was prepared and published in all the leading newspapers of the country for the people to review it and give their opinion, and was discussed at great length by hundreds of people and the press. Now the third question, what is the significance of the date chosen for our constitution to come into force? Indian Constitution was adopted on 26 January 1950 with Dr. Rajendra Prasad as the first president of the country. This day is celebrated as a Republic Day. A republic is a government which has an elected head and the post is not hereditary. The fourth question, how was the first draft of our constitution made? So the answer is, a drafting committee with 8 members was formed under the chairmanship of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. They studied the constitutions of several countries such as the USA, Britain, the former USSR, France and Ireland, and some of the good features were borrowed from these constitutions and included in the Indian Constitution. The draft was prepared and published in all the leading newspapers in India for the people to review it and give their opinion, and was discussed at great length by hundreds of people and the press. So these answers we already discussed in the second one.